Well, the greatest train that ever run down America's railroad track was the orange blossom special, bringing my baby back. From New York to Miami, you could see them drivers roll, but the orange blossom special don't stop Waldo anymore.
Hey everybody, it's Lydia, the Tally Stitcher, back with another floss tube. Not actually sure what number floss tube this is, so it'll be in the description, somewhere in the 20s, not yet 30s. It's been a little more than a month since the last floss tube, and I think the stitchy bug is finally back because we are now in May and I have had the mania. I've got a lot to show today of a lot of little starts, as well as some finishes, not mine, and some other projects. So there's a little bit of cross stitch, a little bit of knitting, also not mine, and a new design. It's all popping out. So thank you for joining me and welcome back. If you are a returning visitor, if you're new here, this is a channel primarily about cross stitch and other kind of fiber crafts that me and my husband do. You can follow us on Instagram. I'm Lydia E. Malone. And he is Metal X Stitch. I'll also put stuff down below in the description box if I haven't put it up on the screen. I'm in transition right currently in terms of editing videos to see what kind of software I want to use, so we shall see. Also, the birds outside are very loud today, so I hear them hollering. I'm not really sure what the lighting's doing right now, but we're going to get through it. Also, I do update regularly on my Instagram of stitching progress and other things, so feel free to drop in there if you want something more frequent than about the once a month drops we do here. But yes, so how have you guys been? Have you guys been as busy as me? Have things been as wild as they have been elsewhere? Finally out of kind of the really busy season for work for me, and yet the work drama apparently does not end, which, okay, let's just roll with it. We also have some travel coming up, personal travel. We're going to go see a band in Alabama in a couple weeks, so that's exciting. A little tiny mini vacay turnaround day. Also, I got a new tattoo yesterday, which is why I'm kind of wearing this shawl situation. I've been wanting the Sphinx for a long time, so that happened. So that's kind of why I'm like doing this little move. But so if I'm moving slowly, it's because it's very fresh. It's less than 24 hours old. But yeah, let's get into some cross stitch. So I'm gonna show my husband's current work in progress that he's been working on, as well as his knitting projects. His cross stitch that he's been working on, one of his mania starts, is a Thea Gouverneur. It's still attached to the stand frame, so I'm kind of fighting with it. But it is the Falcons. Vulcan? It says Vulcan on the back, so the Falcons. Very beautiful. And he has been working on the branchy bit here. Hasn't yet gotten to bird territory yet, but he started this maybe a week ago, maybe a little bit more than that, in between all of his other projects he's working on. So I have to make sure I hold it right. It's attached to his Lowry stand arm, so there is that bit. Kind of looks like a tree right now, which makes sense, right? So the birds will obviously go on top of that, but he's working on the branches and all the greens. You'll see a lot of greens today and blues and some of the things we've been working on. But there's his progress on Falcons by Thea Gouverneur. And this is a kit, so it has all of the called for kit stuff. Usually her stuff is done on 18 count, one strand. Although I think this one has some 2 strands in the bird heads, I believe, to maybe give them some more oomph. So there we are with that. And that's his mania start. I don't know if he started anything else. He's been in a puzzling mood, so he's been working on puzzles. Actually, like we have a backlog of puzzles that we needed a big table to work on, and so we got a folding table, and now he's making all the puzzles. So that's that one. I'm trying to figure out where to stick it while I'm holding it. I'm like, where can you safely go? Got it. Got it. He's trying to come over and help, but it's like, we got it. When last we worked on stuff, he wants to show his puzzle off. So we have this is a big baby. It weighs like 20 pounds. This is a puzzle that he's wanted for years. It is the Battle of Algiers, 9,000 pieces. I'm sorry about the glare, but it is this epic sea battle painting, and it's going to be, let's see, that's not English. Picture guide. How big is it going to be? Hang on, it's probably on the front. Maybe not. Oh, goodness. He's trying to come over here and show me. It says by centimeters. That sounds really small. No, maybe not. It says it's going to be 193 by 139 centimeters. That sounds really small for this. Now, it's going to be huge. He's going to have to do it in sections. Because it's so big. Anyway, so if you follow him on Instagram, maybe he'll start posting updates when he gets finished with his current puzzle and starts on this guy. So that's a part of the household right now. And of course, Giuseppe, my boy kitty, likes to help him put the puzzles together. And by help, I mean lay all over them. All right, now back to the cross stitch. Actually, back to the beginning with the knitting. So my husband had two finishes actually. He kind of made this hat on a whim. We just found some yarn we liked, kind of strolling through Walmart one day, and he made this hat, which is very squishy. And this is actually the second time he made it. He made it the first time and it was too big. And this is so he could play with single-stranded brioche. I'm not a knitter, but I'm learning terms. So this was his experiment in single-stranded brioche. And I'll put the yarn one strand, sorry. One color brioche. Not single-stranded, but one color brioche. He has done two color brioche before on his shawlography, which I think I showed last episode. But this one color brioche. So it's very squishy, very soft. It's got this, it's kind of a blue base. I'm not sure if the colors are going to show up correctly, but it has some flecks in it. And yeah, so he made it the first time, he made it in a day, and it was too big, so he pretty much frogged it, but then knitted from the old hat to the new hat to make it the size that he wanted. And then we have some family in Australia, and one of the cousins is going through some stuff, so his mom is going to be traveling, and said, oh, he should make her a hat to give to the cousin. So he made a second one. This is with a waffle stitch, and I'm just like wearing these. So he made this one. He finished this one yesterday and put the little pom-pom on it. He got a pom-pom maker, and this one's, I think it's it's the same yarn, I think. No, it's not. It's not as squishy. I mean, it's still squishy, but it's not quite as soft as this one. It's still pretty soft though. And like I said, we'll have all the info for all you knitters down below. But this one, we picked it because it's like a dark blue with some flecks. And you can see the waffling. The waffle. It's a technical term. Yeah, so pom-pom, waffle. It's going to Australia sometime next month. And then he's got a lot of, like me, a lot of works in progress, but on the knitting side, I'm always afraid to pick these up when they're still on the needles. But he's been working on this shawl. I'm going to try to show you guys as best I can. This shawl, beep. It will obviously be much bigger than this. And it's got a little bit of lace work in it, as you can see. It'll have some other lace work sections But he's been kind of moseying on this. He's also got a couple sweaters going. And yeah, so all the projects, right? Okay. Yeah, what have I been doing? Like I said, I feel like I don't know if I'd lost the stitchy bug so much as I've been too busy and tired. Like I thought about it, like I wanted to, but I'd maybe do like one strand every other couple days. But now I'm back into it, I think. So the last thing you saw from me would have been working on Cottage Garden Samplings, Year in the Woods, the Fox, that a lot of people have finished. So now I'm questioning all my lighting choices because it looks really dark, but the Fox. So I've been doing this on a dark blue, I think this is 14 count. Dark blue 14 count. So I finished the fox's head and his body. He still needs a tail, but I gave him a little tree, and I've decided this is as much as I'm going to work on him for a while. I'm going to let him set aside and we start working on him again once we get back into the fall season. I'm watching my camera try to white balance this. It's like, I'm struggling. But he was a lot of fun. I really like the way the patterns are, kind of the patterning in the fur is with this. It's so unique. Like I said before, I really like the logic of these. So worked on him, Year in the Woods, and then the Maynia apparently struck. And I had been hemming and hawing about working on one of the projects I started last year, which was a thrifted geisha that I got and I restarted on some natural fiddler's cloth. And I was like, do I want to work on her? And I was like, or do I want to start a new one? So I was like, oh wait, it's May. Let's go ahead and make whatever we want. So I went ahead and started this Design Works Queen of Silk, which is something I got for Christmas this year. And it's on a 14 count, kind of rustic Aida. It pretty much acts like fiddler's cloth, which I think is neat because I had already thought about doing that with my other one. So I've only done a little bit on this because I'll show you what else I got distracted by. But I started working on her sometime this month. And she's going to be big. But here's where I just started on that. Enhance. Come some purples and red. Sorry, pinks and red in there. We'll pull it back. But, I mean, it's big. She's going to be big. 16 by 22 inches. So I worked on her maybe like 2 days before I got absolutely distracted again, which is what Maynia is all about, right? So there's that one. And that's because I think I've had this as my screen on my phone for a while. Back in March, I was able to hold a Luna moth, and it's been on my mind, and it's on my screen lock on my phone, and I was like, I want to do a Luna moth. So I found this design on Etsy. It's by NeniDesignCrafts. Sorry, it's not printed out in color, but it's a Luna moth with these clematis recta flowers and the moon phases above. And I immediately rushed out to go get fabric and the thread for it. And this is what I've been working on. Also this month, I want to be able to show, let's see if that helps. That helps. Let me lean it this way. So I've been working on this Luna moth, bunch of greens, some whites and creams will go in there, and then the moon, of course. I've been trucking away at this when I haven't also been exhausted some nights. And I really like how it's going. I wanted to get more of the wing done to show you guys, that way it didn't just look like weird floating green thing, but that'll be gorgeous when it's finished. And it's just a black 14 count Aida. Got it from Michael's or Joanne. I think I went to Joanne for this one and pulled it and grabbed all the stuff for it. So been working on this Luna moth, like I said, by NeniDesignCrafts. She has other moths and butterflies and patterns that are gorgeous. So quite enjoying that, and gonna keep moving along on that. And then because it's Maynia, which means free reign to just start new things, right? On Instagram, Stitch Brat had posted this because I haven't been watching a lot of Flosstube. We've been watching sumo wrestling. Every other month is a sumo wrestling basho, which is like 15 days of their competition, and so we've been watching that. So I haven't been caught up on Flosstube at all. And I didn't see this until yesterday when I was watching some, that this is already like a hashtag, you know, it's a stitch along, it's a thing. Anyway, so Stitch Brat posted their progress on this, and I don't have a printout because I was like, I need to do it. And I didn't even get a chance to print it out. So I've been like working off of my computer. But it's a modern folk embroidery, birds from Bernhard's books. And I forget the hashtag some folks are working on for it, but I immediately needed it, essentially. So this is my progress on that one. Let me see if I can show you. So this is the top center of the bird pattern. It's this beautiful border with a vase and two birds, and I will try to I'll link it down below, and hopefully I'll be able to just kind of insert like a picture here if I'm doing that right now. If not, here we are. And so it's modern folk embroidery, and I'm doing it with two DMC colors. I'm doing it with one of the variegated, this is 4045, it's a variegated green. Sorry, my face, not seeing that there. And then the other one is 987, another green. I'm kind of pulling the idea of a variegated and a solid from Chris Cross Stitch, who's doing that on his Fruits of Plenty, because the fabric is brick by Fiber on a Whim that I got last year from Needlework Expo, perhaps. And I was like, oh, this would be really nice done in like a really dark green. And I kept looking at it and I was like, this could be like a really fun, almost like copper patina effect. So that's what kind of inspired the green. And if the video doesn't look great, feel free to hop on over to my Instagram for a photo that shows off more of the variegation and the coloring here. I feel like I'm getting blown out. But yeah, so that's that one there. Been working on that. Because I'm currently doing it off of my computer, I have to do it for as long as my cat will let me before he wants to jump on my computer. That's how that happens. All right, so that's all of the stitching. So some finishes by Mr. Metal X Cross Stitch, some works in progress by the both of us, and then I also just released another freebie on Instagram, and you'll be able to, I'll put the link down below as well, but this Friday, May 20th, is when Florida celebrates Emancipation Day. So you may be familiar with Juneteenth, which was recognized as a federal holiday last year, and that is kind of widely celebrated for emancipation. However, in Florida, it was earlier. It was about a month earlier. It was May 20th when the Union soldiers who were in Tallahassee read Lincoln's proclamation to free the enslaved peoples of Florida. Because if you think about the way the way messages kind of travel, the armies had to move in a wave to read the proclamation, be able to support the communities. And so Juneteenth happened out in Texas. So kind of thinking about just the geography at the time. So the Knott House is a historic house in downtown Tallahassee, and I used to work there. It's a museum now. and it's seen a lot of stuff. It's been through a lot of iterations. The family that lived there during the Civil War were the Hagners, but the Knotts moved in the 1920s, so they're not connected with the emancipation part of it, but they, you know, were instrumental in keeping the house preserved into the 80s when it was gifted to the state to be a museum. So I have designed a quick little pattern. I don't have anything to I finished it this morning, so I'll have either the picture in the preview, or you can check my Instagram, or, you know, just click down below for the pattern. But it's got the Knott House, and it has the witness tree is what it's called. There was an oak tree that was next to the Knott House for a long time that would have been there and witnessed the history that was happening there. It unfortunately fell in a storm a couple years ago, but that was our witness tree, so I put it back in there. And yeah, so I hope that if you like stitching historical houses, or you know, if you want to do something that has to do with emancipation, feel free to download that. It's kind of a mixture of whites and grays and greens and a few pops of pink. Feel free to use the colors that I designated or color match to how you like. It is a white house with green shutters, so it's pretty much playing with whites and shadows, but I wanted to do that in recognition of Emancipation Day. So apart from that, I'm not sure if I'll have any more May starts. Who knows? We're only halfway through. So keep an eye on Instagram for updates. I'm still trying to get back into the designer mode to do some of the projects I had planned to do for Halloween releases. And I've also started thinking about how we did spooky summer stitch last summer, and how I've got some spooky stuff still to start for that. So we'll see. We'll see. So thanks again for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye for now, and maybe fiddle around with either the editing or just go ahead and get this uploaded. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope you have a great week and have happy stitching. Bye now.
Well, just another bowl